What if the most explosive creative space in New York wasn't a high-rise penthouse, but a modest apartment where the genius of stand-up, writing, and radical curiosity quietly converges? Imagine opening the door to a world where jokes are born, ideas spark in the night, and one of comedy's sharpest minds is quietly building the future. That's the world of Josh Johnson. Josh Johnson studied lighting design in college, so he didn't start out in comedy alone. He brings a designer's eye to how he frames a joke or sets the mood for a performance. He moved to New York after growing up in Louisiana, and his transition from open mic nights to being a staff writer and then correspondent on The Daily Show shows how his apartment isn't just home, it's a base camp for a rising career. He's known for authentic curiosity. He doesn't just want to make people laugh, he wants to make them think. New York, home, and the creative hive. He moved into his New York apartment not just as a place to sleep, but as a lab for inspiration. Under the glow of lamplight, surrounded by notebooks, comedy, scripts, and the hum of the city outside, Josh transforms ordinary moments into bold observations. This isn't just home, it's a creative engine. Here, in the rhythms of his everyday life, from coffee, with a view of subway rails to late-night reflections on stand-up sets, the space becomes part of his craft. It's where he writes, rewrites, edits, and experiments. He treats the apartment as much like a writer's studio as a living room. The rise from Louisiana roots to NYC stand-up. Josh's journey began in Alexandria, Louisiana, and it carried him through open mic nights, a lighting design degree, to the heart of New York's stand-up world. Once in New York, he embraced the grinding rhythm of comedy rooms, late buzzing trains, and late-night thoughts. What stands out, he didn't wait for the perfect moment. He created it. The rise isn't about luck, it's about showing up. In his apartment, you'll find reminders of that rise. Flyers, notebooks, maybe a poster from an early set, and reminders of what's next. Because for Josh, the past is just a launch pad. The space, how environment fuels his creative. It's not glamorous in the usual sense. It's real, textured, full of nuance. In his space, a dedicated writing nook for ideas and scripts, a corner for stand-up rehearsal, maybe a microphone or a small audience of friends. Everyday life, in between the hustle, living and breathing within the craft. He believes environment matters. The right chair, the right view, quiet versus city noise, coffee at hand. All that shapes how ideas land. Highlight: when he walks into his own apartment after a night on stage, he's not done. He's just shifted modes, from performance to processing, from mic check to reflection, writing and rewriting. The behind the scenes of his craft. Most people see a polished set. What they don't see, the hours of rewriting, the everyday tinkering. Josh treats every joke like a sketch of a building before the final facade. In his apartment, he might wake up with a sentence in his mind, scribble it on the notebook, test it on the subway, then refine it by late evening. Bold point: the apartment isn't a stopgap, it's one of his most important workspaces. Sometimes the best ideas arrive when he's doing something mundane, washing dishes, listening to neighbors, hearing city noise, and then he pulls out his phone, records a line, because creative flow doesn't wait for studio lights. Stand-up and presence, more than a stage, it's a life. On stage, Josh is electric. Off stage, his apartment anchors him. He uses the space to reflect, to zoom out, to understand his impact. According to Rolling Stone, Josh is the master of viral long-form stand-up sets that go deep on a single topic. Important: stand-up isn't just a show, it's an extension of his real life, his thoughts, his home. In that apartment, he'll watch video of his sets, analyze audience reaction, jot down new angles. He keeps evolving, not because he has to, but because he loves the process. Creative triggers and daily rituals. In his day-to-day world, he might start with reading the news or scanning social media for the unexpected. He walks the city, listens to conversations, takes note of what people say when they don't know they're being heard. Back home, he turns those moments into sketches and bits. Think of it like this: the apartment is part bunk bed, part think tank, part archive of his life. Every moment is potential fuel for the next great set. The human moment, balance, doubt, and authenticity. Even rising stars face self-doubt. Josh admits to bombed sets to nights of, what am I doing? He uses the apartment for that too, a place to reset, reflect, remind himself of the why. The difference between those who survive and those who don't isn't talent, it's resilience and the space to recuperate. At home, he'll look at old flyers, early gigs, remind himself, I got here once, I can get further. The apartment becomes the safe zone. What this means for you and your space. Whether you're a creator, a professional, or just someone with ideas, design a space where you can think, not just live. Use your home to turn ideas into action. When you're tired, change mode from active, creator to passive thinker. Always keep a reflection zone, a place to review, digest, and plan. Josh's apartment isn't special because of luxury. It's special because it's purposeful. Your residence can be, too, the future, where this all is heading. Josh Johnson is not just building sets, he's building. Legacy from writing for late-night shows to becoming a correspondent, he's evolving. And his apartment? It will adapt. Maybe new projects, collaborations, interviews. The space stays constant, while his world expands around it. That's the marker of success. Not just what you build, but where you build it from. So here's to the apartment behind the laughter. Here's to the space where ideas are born, moments are processed, and creativity flows without pretense. If you've ever wondered how someone like Josh Johnson keeps innovating, take a step back. It might just start with the room you live in. If you enjoyed this peek inside his world, hit like, subscribe, and share so we can keep uncovering the creative spaces of tomorrow's stars.